Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 466. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Thank you for being here with me. Today's blog is very self-referential in that it is about blogging. I mean, you know, we're going layers deep here today, everyone. So I'm going to read that to you in just a minute. If you're new to the podcast, welcome, thank you, hello. I'm going to say a couple of things, then I'm going to read you the blog, and then I'm going to sing you a song that is connected to the blog. And that's how it goes. Welcome, thank you. This is Part of the Art. For me, blogging isn't art making. I think of it as a side gig that helps support the art, both financially and emotionally. This is the business bit, I've always thought. Then a couple of months ago, a play of mine was read in an evening of short plays and films, and when introducing the play, I mentioned the source of it. A blog I wrote about in the Boom Boom Room and acting training. There is a direct line between that blog and the play that came from it. Okay, so one time I wrote a blog that turned into a play. But it hasn't been just the one time, has it? That's what I realized today. The dragoning exists because of a blog post too. The Kavanaugh hearings made me feel so dangerous. I fantasized about being a dragon, and I wrote about it, and that piece went fairly viral for me. There was even a small movement of women changing their profile pictures to dragons because of it. And months later, I heard the voice of someone responding to a world full of dragons, and I just followed it. Now we're producing the 3rd season of an audio drama. There are songs I've written either in response to blogs or to find something to go with the podcast version. This blog is a content generator for my imagination. Pretending that it is somehow separate from my artistic process is silly. It is all connected. I write something here that stimulates some art, and then making that art often sends me back to the page to unlock further thoughts about the artistic process or life. It is a circle, not separate lanes. But I suppose I have to think of them as separate somehow. I treat art differently than this kind of writing. It runs on different engines, even if it's driving through the same landscape. I think of it as a different thing. An art generator is not the same as the art itself. And truthfully, every single thing in an artist's life might become part of their art. If a painter is struck by their breakfast mango, their breakfast may become a sketch and then a painting by dinner. The mango was not art, but it inspired some. Those blogs aren't art, but they do inspire a fair amount of it. So I have to tell you, I had a very funny experience just reading this to you now, where I realized a whole process I went through around what song I was going to put here. And I forgot like how the road started. I guess that's that is a fairly common artistic experience where you like start with one thing and you go somewhere else and then you come back around and you're like, oh wait, this is where I started. So initially, I was trying to think of songs that have to do with, I don't know. There's nothing that was like quite in the line of the story, right? Like, what is it? There's no songs about blogging. Or songs about like where inspiration comes from, really, or I don't know. I just was like, I kind of looked around, but like there was nothing that was really speaking to me. And then I was like, oh, I think there's a David Wilcox song about mangoes, because like I finished with this whole thing about being inspired by mangoes and making a painting about mangoes, and I was like, maybe I should do that David Wilcox song, which is in fact called Mango. It's not about mangoes, but it's inspired by a story about David Wilcox and his friend eating a mango, and it is in the song. The song is called Mango. I was like, great, I'll do Mango. But then I got into like looking at the chords, and there were like 2 other David Wilcox songs that I was looking at, and I was thinking, oh, like one of the things, he's an interesting artist to talk about in this moment because he is both a songwriter and a storyteller. Like the stories are a significant part of the experience of seeing him live. Even on, several recordings, it's not just the song, it's also the story that led to the song. And it, kind of a direct finger on the pulse of what is the inspiration for this piece of art. And that is an experience and something he writes about, talks about, explores, whatever. So I got really like thinking about that more than, a mango. So I did not do the Mango song for you here today. I may do it at some point. I feel like I would need to spend some more time with it. I think if I'd remembered that this piece was, connected to mangoes more, I might have done the other song if I'd had remembered, which I did not. So instead, I did the song that is more, I don't know, that just like felt better. One of them was, it's going to take a really long time for me to learn the guitar part, and I'm excited to do it because it's pretty cool jazz chords and stuff. But this song that I'm going to give you here today is mostly here because it has a significant kind of story element at the top of it. Not in the song itself, but I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. And that song is called Rule Number 1, which I am shocked that I've never done before. I thought I had at least referenced this song before because I remember searching for videos that give the kind of introduction that I was thinking of. And I thought I put it in the blog somewhere, but I did a lot of search terms within the blog and I could not find it. So I think I have not, in fact, talked about this song before. Yeah. And if I have, and please tell me where it is because I do not remember. I do keep track of what songs I have done. I have a little Excel document with every song that I have done here in the podcast, and it is not there. So unless it's some secret, even to myself, I think this is the first time. So I'm going to sing Rule Number 1 for you in just a moment. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe in whatever podcast app you like, whichever one you're in. And if you'd like to support it with money, that's amazing. Patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi. There's PayPal. You could do a paid subscription on Substack. All those links are in the show notes and, all incredibly much appreciated, and they make a huge difference. And also, mostly and especially, just you here listening now is also really significant and important, and thank you. So, rule number 1, the story that he tells now, like if you look for videos of him doing this song, he does a very short little story. He basically says this woman, his friend, is talking to him about her divorce and how she should have known. And then she tells him why, and he says, yes, you should have known. And I think she also says there ought to be a song about what I've been through. So it's like a really short, it's like been, refined to its basics, its essence. And then, he sings the song. And I think he doesn't tell the whole story anymore because it would sort of ruin the joke of the song. Not that the song is a joke, but there is, I think you get a laugh if you do it right. So I think he's setting himself up for the laugh. But I will say, I discovered the song, I saw him in concert, and he told a much more complex story at the beginning, or just longer, I guess. And it is one that has stayed with me since then. And I think it just was very profound. So I think he sets up the premise of the song, even in the story, where this woman is talking about how she should have known, before she married this guy, that it was going to be bad. And the reason is because he was rude to the waitress. And in the story that David Wilcox told the first time I heard it, he said, yes, because one day the waitress is you. And it really hit me, especially at the time, because at the time, not anymore, at the time, I was with someone who was rude to waitstaff, and it made me very uncomfortable. And when he said that, I think I got it, and it really stayed with me, and I think it was quite important. So I share that with you now because the story is part of the reason for the song. That sort of integrated, life experience, things that are happening, inspiration for artistic expression. So I will sing you now rule number 1, a song I cannot believe I have never sung you before, but I don't think I have. This is David Wilcox's rule number 1. Could be the one, could be tonight, a love that would feel so right. You look in his eyes, he pours the wine, the shine in the candlelight. Oh, it's easy to laugh, easy to smile, except when the service was slow. Then he was cruel, suddenly mean, not like the man you know. If he's rude to the waiter and it makes your heart confused, this is lesson number 1. Run, get up and run, don't walk, don't wait. Rule number 1, don't hesitate. Your date is done. Run. Look, this is a gift, this is the deal. Pay for the taxi back home. It's fair for the lift, fair for the meal. Return like a warrior. What have you lost except for a dream that would shatter like bone? It's better to run and get away clean than pay for the lawyer. If he's rude to the waiter and it makes your heart confused, this is lesson number 1. Run, get up and run, don't walk, don't wait. Rule number 1, don't hesitate. Your date is done. Run. If he's rude to the waiter and it makes your heart confused, this is lesson number 1. Run.